Hello everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, feasting or feeding. And on top of that, we'll talk about the live letter we didn't have much time to talk about last week. Yeah, well, we already know what Sly's answer is, but then again, he loses all the time anyway, so it's even more questionable. But on that note, I am one of your hosts, Michael, Mr. Happy Pulveromo. Joining me, as per usual, Slyh, aka Slythefox, aka Slyh, aka Greyfox, aka Slyh, aka Salty Fox, aka you, my boy Blue. How you doing, Slyh?
I'm doing awesome. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good, my man. I can't complain. I got some coffee. I got some beer. I had coffee earlier. I didn't mix coffee with beer.
But you now have beer, which is...
I now have beer, which will undo all the caffeine I put into my system.
Good.
Across the... I mean, it's cinnamon horchata.
Keep fucking rubbing it in, guys. Jesus.
You call me a hipster for this, alright? Listen. Oh, yeah, and then Ethys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then Ethys.
I did that last week,
a
too.
better intro than that.
Hey.
There he is.
That's
That's the guy.
Better than the intros I give myself.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what would be an Ethys? What would, if you had to introduce yourself on the show at the start of the show? How would you introduce yourself? Like the way I introduce myself. How would you do it?
Hi.
Brilliant start. Woo! Yes.
No, that's literally it. I don't do intros.
I don't say hi to people. I just walk in the room, and if they notice me, then all right. Pretty much. I hope you don't walk into rooms like that. That would be awful.
I do. I walk into rooms like this with a squeaky chair as well.
I want gifts of everything. That's all I know. You walk in with a squeaky chair. All right.
Yeah, I do. I wheel the chair in front of me everywhere to announce my my arrival.
I got nothing. Anyway, so last week we actually spent some time not talking about the live letter because we had other more pressing things to talk about. So this week, I honestly don't even remember what we talked about last week. I was like, what did we talk about last week? We talked about the live letter a little bit. We mostly talked about
Questions?
Dude, seriously?
yeah, Aerzivia.
Really?
Thing. I'm sorry.
Wow.
When the loser doesn't dye their gear, it just slips my mind entirely.
Here we go.
And
Again.
Stop calling him the loser, dude.
I will. Yeah, like I lost. Like I was involved with this shit. No. I was not a contestant. I was a host. There are no like Alex Trebek doesn't lose Jeopardy. What the fuck?
That's because he doesn't have somebody else asking questions at the same time to see who asks better questions. We need Alex Trebek, and we need I don't remember how to say Alex Trebek's name backwards, like from Family Guy. I don't remember how to do it. It's in an episode somewhere. Anyway, on that note, so this week, because we did Aerzivia last week, and Ethys still hasn't, Slyh still hasn't dyed his gear purple, we are going to be talking about the live letter that we skipped out on. We very briefly touched on it, just like a couple of key points, but nothing specific. So some of this information is about a week and a half old at this point, but we definitely still want to give our thoughts on it, because I don't know about you guys, but like for what it was, I was pretty content with what kind of live letter it was. Like I was like, there's not going to really be anything new to expect here, but they still kind of gave us
7.3 out of 10.
7.3 out of 10. I mean, that's the
average.
They
made it very clear that it's not going to be 3.3 stuff. They said right. Going in, look, it's just going to be feedback from 3.2.
And even then, they still tease us a few things. So
exactly.
It was nice. And also the second half, which is usually the half where, I don't know about you, but like as interested as I would like to be in most of their guests, it's hard for me to stay awake at that point, like for 3 hours. When it's like Koji going back and forth, and he's not even talking about lore, he's just having banter. And I was like, if I knew what the banter was, if I spoke Japanese, I would probably no problem with
you just watch his face. It's so entertaining when Koji goes down to fucking Bantanamo Bay. Oh, man. Just watch his face. It's so good.
All right, I'm going to work. Next time Koji is on the live letter, we're just going to watch his face. I don't even want Marco to translate it.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we're going to
basically slow zoom onto his face.
God damn it. So basically, we're going to be going down the live letter notes. If you guys want to follow along, the live letter notes are in the chat. It's !LL. That's all you have to do to pull up the notes regarding that. When we're done with that, we're going to talk about the feast a little bit because the official season starts next week, and there's a growing problem with the recent implementation of the Anima weapon. That we will again talk about later on. You heard Sly's long sigh at the beginning of the show. Did you just pull up the notes for yourself, or did you share that for the stream? Please tell me you didn't just pull...
I have my notes up already. Come on.
I was like, if Sly's the
Hashtag
one...
professionalism. God damn.
I was like, please don't tell me Sly just had to open the notes for himself. Right? Oh, shit, I should have opened them. All right, good. So a lot of the things they started with were pretty basic. We don't need to go too in-depth into them. They talked about healers missing in dungeons. Not in raids, in dungeons. Which, by the way, I've missed enough gravities at this point as my Astro to feel the pain on
Yeah,
this
that's
one.
pretty frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a good feeling.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Back in I think it was 2.2 they started adding accuracy to gear. I don't think it was 2.4. It might have been 2.4, actually, where they started adding accuracy to healer gear to make up for the fact that...
Yeah, it was 2.4.
Yeah, it was 2.4. Okay, it wasn't 2.2. So in 2.2,
Cool.
the same thing happened where the accuracy gap just got wider and wider, and people were still
Yeah.
trying to do DPS. The thing is here, in the expansion, DPS has been such a big thing, and missing a spell in this expansion is like the end of the world for everyone. You miss anything, your life is over. Imagine being a Dragoon and missing your third tier combo and then missing your Zerskogel because you just lost that. Like, it's so severe for everyone, even healers. So you don't want that shit. So they're talking about adding a countermeasure for dungeons, but not raids.
But it still happens in raids, though.
Well, I mean, fucking meld.
It's gonna, yeah, exactly. It's gonna happen. Just
the thing is that for people who don't do raids, they don't want to be forcing them into accuracy melds for the most part, because it's fucked up. Because it's like they don't care most of the time. And let's be honest, most people in dungeons don't care. They ain't even DPSing.
Well, you don't want to force them into melds at all. I mean, I see plenty of casual players running around and they've got nothing melded. They do fine. It's not, you know.
Yeah,
It's not
but
that
I
big
mean,
a
but
deal.
if you don't want to see gravity miss like 7 targets,
Yeah.
you better meld some accuracy. I don't even know what the accuracy cap is in those dungeons because until this happened, I didn't even think about it.
I don't know if anyone's worked it out.
I don't think anyone cares.
Probably not.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares at all. But healer, they said they're looking at something for this, so I can run my Astro through shit now and not have to. I don't even think I miss in Void Arc. I miss in dungeons more than I miss in Void Arc.
Playing Astro in dungeons is already painful enough.
What do you mean? I love Astro in dungeons.
You just
I know you
coast.
Yeah, you just fucking coast. You literally just be like, fucking, here's Sinistry, here's 3 hots, here's an extension, I'm going to the bathroom or to make a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I hate that. So you just feel like you're making so little impact. I'm all about
when
that.
I see his health tick up 6,000 every 3 seconds, I'm impacting him all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm all about that white mage life.
White Mage, I love White Mage in dungeons. White Mage in dungeons feels so good. You do the same thing.
good.
You Divine Seal, you throw 3 hots on them, and then you just fucking Assize Holy and go to 10.
White mage in dungeons is a freaking tow truck, though. You can just carry everyone.
Oh, yeah. When your Stone
Awesome.
3s hit for like 4.4k, it's pretty devastating.
It's amazing.
They finally brought up Eggy glamour again. The system.
Oh, yes. Yes, they did. Although
It was not the best news.
We were told that it's not for 3.3. They listed a bunch of things where they're like, all right, this is for 3.4 or maybe later, which is kind of what they've been saying about the Eggy glamours forever.
So it's just pretty much open-ended.
Yeah, so there's absolutely no news about the Eggy glamour. We didn't get like any concept art or anything like that. They were just like, oh yeah, no, that's still coming.
But
It's
well,
still coming.
Make them into minions. Point blank. Done.
Honestly, the minions
Done.
do look better than the Eggies. Like, I love
totally.
the Titan one is phenomenal. I love it.
So good.
I love
But
Naruto.
they did confirm that
Naruto.
in order to roll the system out faster, they're going to be doing the Eggies one at a time. Like 3.4 will be a single Eggy that you can glamour over another one, and then 3.5 will be another one.
Do you think that we'll see one as early as 3.4?
Yeah, I do.
I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see him before.
No.
No.
I think we'll see him at 3.4.
I think it's going to be a 4.0 first feature. Like
Yeah.
starting feature for 4.0.
Listen, 4.0 needs other things done other than this. Please get this out before the fucking expansion.
I mean,
That's
but
all
there's
I'm
going to be a lot of stuff in 4.0 at the beginning, and then there's going to be some fluff stuff. This is one of the fluff pieces. In my
Man,
opinion.
I don't even. We got to one day soon. We got to do a show about that. Our expectations for 4.0.
Ooh, you just rubbed a lot of summoners the wrong way.
Come at
Yeah,
me.
well, he's pretty abrasive from all that salt.
Summon
So
alert.
he's
Come
rubbing
at me,
rubs a
bro.
lot of people the wrong way.
Come at me, bro. Come at me. That's all I got to say.
Listen, do you seriously want to tell a summoner to come at you in the feast? They'll whoop your fucking ass.
Yeah,
Sly.
Really? Oh, I make summoners turn bitch. Don't get it twisted.
Listen, I tuned in the other day.
I tuned
in the other day. Your team had a black mage free casting. You were attacking a dragoon, and that summoner was just making you eat dicks the entire time. He just literally baned on your entire team, and you all died.
That's because I go with people's plans because I just stop with plans. I'm like, okay.
I was like,
you want to go for the melee
Wait, so you see another dragoon, don't you, Slyh? You see another dragoon, and then suddenly it's like a pissing contest, and you're like,
oh fuck, you don't know.
Yeah, there could lost the pissing contest
no.
because there was a little thing.
You don't even know. I tell you, it's a pride thing for us. It's a pride thing for me as a dragoon. If I see another dragoon,
just speak for yourself, dude.
No, fuck you. It's a pride thing. If I see another dragoon and like I start tapping that, and you fucking run away, have some pride, goddammit. You're a goon. Don't you run the fuck away from me.
If I see another dragoon, I'm like, oh, good, it's not a monk. I can fucking ignore him for the moment.
Listen, dragoons are. I mean, first of all, ninja's underpowered, better buff monk, right? But we'll talk about that too. Of course. They get monthly buffs and everything now. PvE, PvP, done.
Exactly.
They also talked about Gauss Barrel and that they're going to add a way to remove the animation for it. For you, like other people will still see it, but when you are actually equipping it, you won't see that atrocious looking thing on the end of your gun.
Have you noticed that it actually dies now?
I don't care because it looks ugly.
Look, okay, the gas barrel,
and I'm colorblind, so how the fuck would I notice that?
Ethereal converter thing. They die when you dye your weapon now. I saw a metallic green one the other day. I was like, oh, yeah,
metallic green shaft, got it.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then we had this one was actually a really hot topic, and I think I read a solution to this that was way better. So a lot of people for a long time have complained that there's a mind buff and a piety buff. And pretty much if you bring both Astro and Scholar, you have no mind buff, because only White Mage gives it. So they're thinking about taking all the healers, getting rid of the piety buff, and just giving the mind buff. Just remove piety buff from the party list altogether. I don't know if I like that.
There was a bit of opposition to it, wasn't there?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I believe some black mages rely on the piety from the piety buff to determine if they have piety buff, they cast either one spell, or if they don't, they cast a different spell.
That's true.
It can affect the number of fires they get. I remember a whole huge post about that. And besides, I mean, why would you ever want your MP pools reduced? Unless they just, by nature, also increase piety's effect. I wouldn't be opposed to that if they increase piety's native effect, but then it may have other negative repercussions where piety then becomes a dominant stat amongst like healers and whatnot, and black mages are never going to take piety. So it's all over the place.
It's like a min-maxing issue. The opposition was basically that, oh, now it forces us to take a certain healing composition. I'm like, no, it doesn't fucking force you. It's not a huge sort of min-maxing difference.
I like this solution. If you have one healer, mind buff. You have two healers, you have both. I like that solution when I read it. Just no matter what, if you have two healers and an 8-man party, you have both buffs.
Then you get both. Yeah, well, that makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense.
The thing is, I think the entire system's designed around per job. That's how like the entire system is designed right now, so it would require a bit of going back and changing.
Well, then maybe give all the healers both.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other option, just give every healer both.
Yeah.
And then I don't think they should get rid of the piety buff. I think that there's different ways that doesn't require them to do this. But yeah, just please, just don't get rid of it. Parry, as a stat, is useless. And is probably going to get reworked in 3.4, if not later. It's under consideration.
Under consideration.
So we don't even know.
Good God.
How about you consider this? The fending pants for tanks from A7 Savage's full crit debt make only pieces like that with accuracy occasionally. Please. That's how I feel about it.
The difficulty in reworking a stat that dramatically is that you need to do it like on par with the fight designs. So I think that was saying like obviously no sooner than 3.4 because that's going to be our next raid tier, and obviously they need to be designing the fights with certain stats working in a certain way. But I guess there's two different groups of people that are working on each of those things. So I think it's probably going to end up at 4.0.
Yeah. I'm hoping, we'll have an episode about 4.0 and kind of like our wish list to 4.0. probably sometime in the future. What, that smile scared me at this. I said that, and you just...
My fucking wish list. Oh, it's so good. So good.
Does it involve libraries that have books in them?
Fuck you, man. I haven't thought about that fully. Go fuck yourself.
I want the books in there too, but that's something that's more on your wish list than mine. I'm happy with more sightseeing logs. It's all right. I love you, Ethys. You know I do. They also talked about the cross-server party finder again, something that they weren't sure when it was coming out. They said they wanted it 3.2. Probably wouldn't be ready in time. Now they're talking about maybe ready in 3.3 is what they said.
I don't know about this idea anymore after the feast. I don't trust half y'all motherfuckers. I'm sorry.
Well, look, they said what they're planning specifically for 3.3 is the raid finder, which is going to be like the first step towards this proper cross-server party finder in the way that, you know, we think of a party finder. And basically what's going to be, it's going to be like the duty finder, but you also have to provide more specific details, like whether you're looking for progression, whether you're looking for a certain...
you mean all those options we have in our current party finder that no one gives a fuck about?
Yeah, but I think it's going to be... I don't know.
Yeah, you think it'll be better filtered?
I think it'll be good on the JP service because our sort of party finder and duty finder raids are already like a fairly reasonable standard. We don't get people going in there expecting to be...
Your pugs are amazing.
Yeah, but that's because our pugs, rather than... we sort of work in the opposite direction to you guys, is that you go into party finder in order to learn a fight, right? You go into party finder or duty finder or whatever to learn a fight. Whereas we don't do that. We don't go into party finder unless we know the fight because that's just embarrassing.
I remember hearing it the other way around. I remember hearing that the Western servers do the duty finder to practice, party finder to clear, and then the JP servers party finder to practice because they have that specific phase way of doing it where you have to have specific.
Yeah, and then
if you're in the duty finder,
however, when we're going into those phases, we're not going in blind.
Right. Yeah, which is a respectable thing to do. It's a very well kept piece of the Japanese community. But then when you go into the duty finder, it's kind of assumed on the Japanese servers you know the entire fight.
Oh yeah,
almost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is something that we've wondered if would it be possible on the Western servers, but then people just are people, and it's just culturally
right. I think that the raid finder, for that reason, the raid finder is going to work better for us than it is for you guys. I dare say.
Anything will work better for y'all than it will us. In all honesty, really,
I think it's a great idea. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm looking forward to it too. I think it'll. I mean, gotta remember, Zalera's on the same data center as Gilgamesh, so like Zalera will be equal to Gilgamesh at this point by extension, right?
And it's also going to do things like achievement checks. So you can set up a raid finder party for only cleared people, and it will do that check for you.
I just think it's a terrible fucking idea. It's like anytime you try to get like community-wise, you're trying to bring people together to help servers helping servers, people helping people. North America, we're so separatist, it's not even funny. Like it only works for JP.
All right,
Europe maybe second. Like maybe a pro second.
Let's say it's a shitty idea. What's the alternative? Because it's not real good how it is at the moment, is it?
No. And you actually think this is going to make it better? Like this is the not the novice, the novice network all over again. When we know how that's turned out,
it's gotten better. And we can't judge the JP servers. They actually take care of their novice network.
Yeah, we do. We're doing
pretty
well.
My point.
Well, I mean, what do you do then? Do you think that they should just implement these things for us and not for the Americans? Because you guys
it almost sounds like it. And it's. I feel like it's so bad that you kind of have to think that way because we as Americans, as a culture, like we're so separatist. We can't do anything together.
All right.
Fuck you, scrub. Fuck you, scrub.
Okay.
We're
right. If anyone,
that's what you get.
Community team is listening in the chat. Here's how you save some dev time. Right, all of these awesome quality of life features. Give them to the Japanese players. Don't
give
do
it
it
to
to
us.
the Americans.
Don't give it to us.
It's a waste of time.
No.
You're just a bunch of shit idiots.
Shitiots.
Well, fuck you too, Ethys, but thank you. Thank you.
Oh man. All right.
Oh god.
So cross-server party finder. Speaking of which, they then decided to talk a little bit about Alexander Midas, Savage, and this also led to quite a bit of controversy as well because they said the world first matched about the time they expected people to clear it. Which
That's right.
is
Yeah,
probably the first time that's ever happened. This is probably the first time they've ever been like, yeah, perfect. That was exactly the amount of time that we thought. We thought maybe a day.
And that's great. I think that's awesome. That's really good.
Yeah. However, they said that there was a bit of an issue with a few floors in Savage, and that would be A6 and 7. They believe, and now having done, I've now beaten 5, 6, and 7. The group that I've been running with, we've gone in, like, we've rated 5 days, we're done with 5, 6, and 7. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, is 7 easy compared to 6. 6 isn't hard, but, like, man, it's just so demotivating that fight.
It goes back to the whole difficulty progression and how in Gordius you had the wall and then you got to the Snorefest.
Well, I wouldn't say 7's a Snorefest. I think it's a phenomenally done fight.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Like, all of fucking Midas is better than Gordius. I'm just saying.
All of it. Every single floor in Midas has been a pleasure, in my opinion. Midas Blaster. Fuck you, Blaster.
Like,
so is it Blaster in particular that people are getting stuck on, you think?
Well, the thing is, here's what happens. Here's A6 Savage in a nutshell. Okay, guys, we're all new to the fight. Let's pull the first boss. And we're dead. All right, let's do it again. 30 seconds later, and we're dead. All right, let's do it again.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? Like you either die after 20 seconds or you beat Blaster and move on.
And then you got Brawler, whose second phase also gives people a hard time. Swindler, if people can't do height, it's the only thing that really fucks Swindler up. Mm. And then Vortexer has had so many bugs. Have you seen this new fucking bug with Vortexer?
No,
it's a new bug. It's a new bug with compressed water.
Oh,
so
shit.
now, apparently, if you Shikuchi when compressed water is falling off, the explosion will happen. It won't hit anyone. It won't spawn a tornado. But the game still thinks you have compressed water. So if you die, it explodes into Punishing Wave, pretty much. And because you need somebody with the water debuff to be taking that, that's the way the strategy usually works, to eat the lightning.
Yeah.
You now have no second person for the lightning. So good fucking luck. Pretty much.
There have been a lot of glitches this patch.
That you wouldn't think compressed water, a buff that explodes and then passes to another player, would cause so many issues, but it does.
Yeah, that's strange. I mean, is it dramatically different to any kind of mechanic that we've had before?
I don't think we usually have mechanics that explode and then place a debuff on a new target. We have abilities
because most of the mechanics we've had, like through Midas, were basically just
A6 Savage.
Yeah. They're sort of rehashings. But I don't know. Maybe it's because they're trying to do something new and different, and they just fucked it.
Yeah, I don't know. Even with all the fuck ups, it's still a generally decent rate tier, but it's led to them talking about potentially adjusting 6 and 7 so that the difficulty curve is correct. But just people worried that it means bringing 6 down, because what are the odds of them just bringing 7 up?
I've talked about this all the time about the difficulty progression and how it's so mixed up, but at the same time, like, hooray, good job. But why now, all of a sudden? Why now? Like, I feel like everything, even with
there's no point at this point.
Yeah, there's no point.
That's the kind of shit.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good idea on paper. It's a good idea, and I've been yammering for this all this time. But why now?
I don't know.
And with a tier like this that has gotten so much acclaim, as opposed to fucking Gordius, why now? Why even try to change anything?
I guess if they want you to hit a wall, they don't want it to be on the second fucking boss instead of the third boss, which would be a step back.
That makes the difference. It's going to be on the third one instead of the second one. Okay.
No, because here's the thing. If you don't hit a wall on the second boss, you will not hit a wall on the third boss, ultimately. The way that it's balanced, you just won't. 7's got a lot of mechanics, but it's more of a dance than 6 is. Like, 6 is very, I have to move here because this is here, not I will always be in the spot every time. Which is very different from 7, where it is very much, I will be in the spot every time.
That's true, actually. 6 requires a lot more presence of mind than any other fights. You really need to be on
6
your
and
toes.
8. Yeah, definitely 6 and 8. So I don't know. I don't want them to nerf 6. I get what they want. They want a steady progression, but you can't win with that. Like, that's not something that's feasible, I feel, in MMOs, to always have a proper progression of difficulty.
And I don't know why people expect that. They always expect there to be like a logical progression of every fight is slightly harder than the previous one. Where did that idea come from?
It came from the way
but it makes
that
the most sense.
It does, but the thing is, it doesn't make sense in the MMO, and it's never made sense in RPGs. Think about how many fucking RPGs you play where like the hardest boss you'll fight is like an hour into the game, and then you'll hit a super easy stretch.
All right,
for 8 hours.
I get that, but prime example, fucking Final Coil.
Sure.
We can agree that probably 12 was the most difficult out of that.
Most people would agree, yeah.
Yeah, and then you get to 13, and while it's a fun fight, visually outstanding and fun in general, it's a letdown.
I don't think it was a letdown.
I don't think it was a letdown.
I mean, I wouldn't say a letdown per se, but in terms of difficulty, yeah, you're going back and thinking, well, 12, if this was fucking 12, I mean, and swap things over, I mean, it would make sense.
I think the bigger thing,
like a bit of a victory lap, but I don't think it was a letdown. I think it was still an awesome fight.
Yeah, I'm not taking away anything from the fight.
It's not like Bahamut was a pushover.
Yeah, he wasn't a pushover, but in terms of difficulty, like, yeah, it doesn't make sense to me to go from a fight that, like, I wouldn't say it's extremely difficult, but one of the most difficult fight out of the tier into something less difficult. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. So I feel like what did this is the way that the raid is structured. It's literally numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and people keep thinking it's a progressive.
People expect a logical progression. Yeah,
right. I feel like they moved away from it because it's really us. They don't number it anymore, but they numbered it in Coil, and I feel like that kind of conditioned us.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
to treat it that way because it was like 1, 2. I'd say reasonably 1, 2, 4, 5. Was a decent progression in terms of difficulty. 6, 7, 8, 9. Some people would argue 7 was by far the hardest because they don't know how to turn the fuck around. Because they don't know how to turn around. Because they don't know how to turn around.
No.
And then
the fight too.
And then 9, everyone praises because like you look at 1 through 9 and it's somewhat akin to a difficulty, a proper like from bottom up difficulty progression.
Sure. Yeah.
Then you get to 10, and 10 you feel like after doing 9, it's like you can't keep getting harder than 9. Like it's not a feasible thing to do unless you're going into Savage. Like,
well, I feel like the reason 1 to 9 sort of worked is because it's a new game, and that everyone coming in, they're new to the mechanics, they're new to the jobs or whatever. You can't start at something outrageously difficult. You need to start at something fairly gentle, like 1 through 5. But like you say, once you get to 9, you can't feasibly like keep going up and up and up and up and up from that. So I feel like at that point, my expectation was that a raid fight's a raid fight. I'm not really expecting one to be harder than the other. I'm expecting them all to be different, but not necessarily, And then the same thing with Heaven's Ward. I was like, all right, well, we're getting a lot of new players in. So, A1, A2, it makes sense that they're a little bit easier. But after that, once we get to A3, I'm like, all right, sweet, we're here. We've done the gentle, getting your toes in and getting acclimatized, and now we've got the proper fights.
Gentle pre-nerf turn 5.
You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean.
Yeah. It wasn't
once they had turn 5 sorted out and fixed, it was pretty straightforward. But I feel like you get to a point where, like you say, you can't keep expecting each fight to get harder and harder and harder and harder.
Yeah, it's unfeasible.
Yeah, and I think you've actually got a really good point that they're not the ones that are numbering them. We've got fist, burden. What's the other one?
Cuff.
What am I forgetting? Cuff. Yeah, fist, cuff, arm, and burden.
Yeah. Right.
No numbers there.
It's just that they gave us numbers back in Coil, and I feel like that may have preconditioned people a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I don't know. Sly, you seem to think that it is a fair expectation of people that each fight.
I think within one raid tier, I think it's okay to expect it. Maybe within the same raid tier, but it's still I don't think it's always feasible. I mean, look at World of Warcraft. They'll put 13 bosses in a raid tier. Only 2 of them will even fucking matter, and the other 11 are just like, duh, and that's the whole fucking fight. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how would you feel if A5 was a gatekeeper? A5 was that one roadblock, and then after that, it was relatively easier. A5 was.
That's never happened, though.
It's never happened, but it's an example.
Well, I think the assumption there
of a difficulty progression, it makes sense.
I think the assumption there is that, all right, if we have like a big roadblock on A5, and let's not forget that Faust A1 was a big roadblock for a lot of people.
And Hummel Faust has still given people some trouble.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So yeah, let's just say that for a second, is that we spend 4 or 5 weeks trying to beat A5.
Right.
That doesn't mean that the other ones are all going to fall within a week, because then they would be shitty fights. That would just be bad design. The first one can be harder. It doesn't mean that the other ones are going to be face roll.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So long as they're all difficult, so long as they're all challenging, I don't really mind which one gives us the biggest check, provided they all do give us a decent challenge.
And the thing is, even if mechanically a lot of them stay separated in terms of like one is harder than the other, they do always try to treat them as if you have more gear going up. That's their way of saying the next one should in theory, when you're entering it for the first time, be harder. Because
sure, and that makes sense.
All right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know. There's some discussion. I don't want them to nerf A6, and I already know what they would. They would probably nerf Blaster. They would probably nerf Vortexer. They probably
what would they do? What would they do to Blaster? I'm thinking the only way they could really. I think what people want from Blaster is when you get the ghosts dropping, that you can like predict the direction that they're facing.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. Which is it's a doable thing.
But then it would be.
Then it's easy.
Boring.
And there's ways to bait it right now where there's minimum chance of failure. It's just that because of the RNG of the mines, which is the other thing, where the mines are actually located is another spot that gets a lot of new groups. And it's the off-tank running around to get the mines. So one other change is it can't land on the off-tank, for example. Mirage can't target the off-tank. That's another thing, because that one that's like off in West Bumblefuck also gives most people trouble.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But then if it can't target the off-tank, then you've got no chance of any of them sort of going through the middle if you bait the other ones properly, and suddenly it's a mindless fight. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I don't think they should nerf 6. I don't think 7 necessarily needs adjustments. I just don't think they need to touch it at all. I don't think it's worth it. It's been so long. There's do it when you add Echo, like you just did with Gordius, and now with fucking everyone can pug A1 and 2 like it's fucking normal mode.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, some other things that they talked about before we get into the feast. We have adjust fates for Emulsion and Sylph fucking dailies, please. And they said this was going to be hard. It's like, bullshit, this is complicated. Just make them spawn quicker. Like, that's
just reduce the timer.
Every 5-10 minutes.
Don't tell me it's complicated. I'll tell you, you did it for all the other ones. Go do it.
I mean, what are they at the moment? They're on like half hour, 45 minutes, something like that.
An hour.
An hour, really? They're on an hour. I guess I've been lucky.
Emulsion and Sylph are on an hour.
I guess I've been lucky because I haven't been waiting all that long for any of them.
Please.
I know the wait because
I know the Boar's Wars.
Well, yeah, the Boar's worse. I actually fucked up with the Emulsion one because I had a full fucking inventory and I had to go back and do it again.
Oh no.
So I had, like, once I get back and try to turn it in, I'm like, where the fuck is the...
You're like, oh, shit.
And I go back and just wait. Here we go. Would have been done with this shit 15 minutes ago, but the boar one's way worse.
Oh, man.
Yeah. They finally complained about the Orchestrion, about the fact that it's not fucking stereo.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I don't know. Does that bother either of you?
So what I tend to do is when I'm streaming, I'll run around the house while I'm like waiting for a queue, and every time I turn my camera, everyone in the stream is like happy, stop.
Right, it just gives you nausea.
It keeps switching earbuds and which headphone it's coming from. I can't take it. Please.
Well, I don't play with the BGM on anyway, so it doesn't.
I've been doing it recently, and that's why I've noticed. It bothers me so much when I'm like, hey, it's on my left. I can only hear it through my left headset, the left ear of my headset. And they also want to make rolls, the friggin' Orchestrion rolls more common.
Did I freeze? I think I'm frozen.
Yeah, you did. You've been freezing. That's not the first time you've frozen this stream. It's all right. You look great.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you look ready to have a conversation. That's the best part.
Mm.
All right. So, yeah, they're just going to make those few things. They also talked about the continuation of the Void Arc. And this was surprising because it says nothing to do with 3.2. We didn't even get the latest part of the Void Arc in 3.2.
No.
So this is just some like, hey, you want to see some pictures?
Want to see some Miyachi?
Yeah, you want to see? Oh, so look, that picture looks pretty nice. What's the next one?
What do you think of that, huh?
Oh, what's that one? Oh, that was a pyramid back there with a giant eyeball. And
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Right, yeah, and then also, and then there's a fucking pad that looks like a helicopter could land. All right, that's pretty cool.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then there's this, which looks like the inside of the pyramid. That looks that's pretty sweet right there. So these pictures, I mean, you've had a working theory on it's still frozen.
Sure.
You've had a working theory on the Void Arc storyline and kind of the order it would go in.
Right.
And this does not look like the next location that we were originally talking about, where we actually go to the Fortress of Shadows, I believe it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunskaith.
So
again, these two names, Dunskaith, Fortress of Shadows, they're not confirmed. That's purely Ethys headcanon. That's based on those are the sort of home of Skathark.
Right.
In Scottish myth, and Skathark, of course, is the Void Sent Queen that we're dealing with at the moment. So it makes sense, and we've seen a lot of concept art of what is going to be basically the equivalent of this sort of Fortress of Shadows.
So where is this?
In
Ethys headcanon.
The first screenshot to me is very, very clearly the Fayum Salt Mall. For anyone who doesn't know about that, it's to the northwest of Mordona. It's where the Miyachi had their capital. The Miyachi being those sort of proto-Belladines, they constructed those sort of bottom floors of the what's the name of that dungeon? I just had a complete mental blank.
Which one?
The Egyptian Belladine one. Khan, thank you. Sunken Temple of Khan. Right. So that was the original.
So Karn is the same area as.
No.
Okay.
No, but Khan originally, what Khan was built on top of was that sort of old Miyachi architecture. So the Belladines got this sort of Egyptian influence from the Miyachi. So I think that when we're seeing that pyramid, we're seeing a massive Miyachi structure. What I'm assuming is basically the Miyachi equivalent of the Crystal Tower.
And yeah, and immediately when I saw the pyramid, the first thing I thought of was Sunken Temple of Korn, because of all the Egyptian kind of things we saw. Yeah, I'm kind of glad they're sort of linked in a way now.
Sure.
Right. So Miyachi homeland. That's where we're going?
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Absolutely.
That's good to know. That's good to know, Ethys. I like your face.
You're still on my face.
Yeah.
I am still on your face.
How you doing?
Loudy.
How you doing?
Oh, you can't save here. Please choose another location. Come on, I'm trying to make a picture of Ethys' face right now. Come on. There we go. Now I have that saved forever. Now I have that face saved forever, and I can use it tonight. Yeah. I just wanted to save it in my heart, but I decided to save it on my hard drive.
Right. You're going to have that framed on your bedstand.
No, I'm going to put it over Sly's face at some points when he's annoying me and I wish it was you.
Oh.
There we go.
Well, I've had that before. Sometimes I just drop by Sly's stream and people are like, dude, why aren't you Ethys right now? What the fuck, man?
All right, so there's a bunch of other things talked about in the live letter, but since we're going down the list and we're going to talk about the feast anyway, I think we might as well combine our feast section we have later coming with what we have now. So real quick, they had 4 really quick points about the feast.
Okay.
The first one was they want to adjust adrenaline. We haven't gotten that adjustment yet.
Not yet.
They lowered the number of walls in the middle of the arena. They did that already. There's far fewer walls. And they wanted to reduce the burst damage of Machinist, or they felt that it was too high. They wanted to reduce the time of the matches. Again, they haven't done this. They wanted to make adjustments to matchmaking. God knows they've only made adjustments to how quickly or slowly rating is acquired. And the season's going to begin a week from today. That's all they spoke about for all the live letter. However, since the live letter, we've gotten the latest feast patch, and we've also gotten the Anima weapon, which is the very next thing that is spoken about.
Here we go!
So we got our Anima weapon continuation, and we spoke about it last week. It is easily one of the simpler steps to go into, very akin to the I-200 step, where it's a very clear goal and very quick to reach it. So we're used to having to grind out tomestones for Anima weapons, for relic weapons. It's a normal thing.
Right.
One of the two ways you can get the items for this Anima weapon is through esoterics. You get 1,800 of them, you buy an ether oil.
Right.
All right, cool. I'll just do my roulettes every day, and I'll do my Void Arc weekly, and I'll do my Crystal Tower weekly, and then the next 400 enemy teams I go up against will feed me in the feast. It's no problem. I'll just get it in no time at all, right? It's become a pretty serious issue where people are going into the feast and deliberately losing the match in the first 30 seconds.
All right, look, it's preseason, right?
Right.
Our ranks are being reset at the beginning of the season. I'm not convinced that people are going to keep doing this through the season. I feel like
the people who are doing this are the people who don't care about PvP anyway. These are people who do not care about PvP doing this.
Yeah. Do you actually think? Because I think they'll be weeded out by the beginning of the actual season.
I think so.
So here's the thing. The only reason why I think they'll be weeded out won't be because they don't want to lose rank. Because the people who are doing this are just gonna sit at 0. And they're just gonna farm this over and over again. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. And the people who are serious are not gonna be in that same rank for very long.
Right. And even if they are, then they'll get a point and they'll just slowly but surely make their way to the top by like a fucking 1 point at a time. But Square Enix has actually spoken out against feeding in the feast, claiming it is a bannable offense.
Good.
Really?
Thank you.
Now, I've gotten mixed. I have mixed feelings about this. I have a positive feeling. I have a negative feeling about this, and there's a couple of reasons why. So there's actually another. So recently, a lot of Reddit posts have come up with people getting sent to the Mordion jail, which is where you get sent in. That's where the GMs take you if you've fucked up in game. Like if you've done something.
Have you guys ever been there?
No.
I was in 11. I have not been to the Final Fantasy 14.
I have never been there, and I'm so surprised.
That's not a good thing to say. Well, I was in the. You know why I got sent to the Mordion jail in Final Fantasy 11?
Why?
So I started playing the game, and my first character's name was a thief called I Did Your Mom. And at level 8, I got pulled into the Mordion jail, and they told me to just, make a different character because I had a brand new account.
See, now maybe this is just a I don't know, because I'm on like the JP servers and most of our community people, most of our admins, they don't speak English. Right. But I had a friend. He doesn't play anymore, but for 2 years he was getting around with the name Minge Flaps, and
I remember
no one did anything about it. No one cared.
And I was level 8, and I Did Your Mom. Well, I Did Your Mom's a little bit more forward. Yeah, I guess. And it was like text. It was text speak too.
He did do mom.
Yeah, it was text speak too. It was capital I, DIDUR, mom, all one word. Gotta love being 13 and playing online games. Now I know why it happened.
If I reset my camera, is that gonna fuck up the stream?
No.
Alright, sweet. Sweet.
There it is. It looked like you almost came back from having the exact same face. Because your head is in the exact same position as it was, so it looked like you had personally been stuck in time. Oh man, so I have mixed feelings about them actually banning people for the feast. At first, I was super thrilled because I was like, "Fuck these people."
Fuck them.
So the thing I have against it is Square Enix you can't blame only the people abusing the system. Square Enix, come on, you gotta stop giving us credit and trusting us for this shit. So often do they implement a system and then get upset with the players for abusing it later. Motherfucker,
they get so surprised every time. They're so surprised. They're like, "Oh my god, you guys didn't. You betrayed us."
And it's like
you guys are just like, America.
You added esos to the feast. You balanced the feast around if every player on the enemy team dies once, that gives you just enough points to win the match. And you then, 2 weeks later, incorporate a grind that begs you to spam anything that gives you esoterics. Granted, not a long grind. But you had to have known that with these combinations of effects, people were gonna be dicks. People were doing it for lore before the Anima weapon came out. They were throwing matches for lore to cap for the week. 45 quick losses. That was a problem. That was a problem before then. Now that you need however many thousands of esos, it only multiplies the issue.
So what about just removing the tombstone bonus from competitive games?
It may have to come down to only 8-man gives you that, but then 8-man will just be flooded with people throwing. But then if you have 16 people throwing, who the fuck wins the game?
The main issue is, well, 8-man's unranked. Nobody gives a shit. I mean, yeah, people give a shit. Let me. Okay, so you don't give a shit. Okay. Some people give a shit about 8-man. It's unranked. You don't have to worry about anything. Coming to 4v4 solo and do that, yeah, I can see you taking away from 4v4 solo. I'd be a little pissed because they like actually take it seriously and I actually want the esos and lore. But I would actually love it if you remove it from a rank.
I just think they can remove it from losses.
What are you doing with my head?
I'm making a compilation.
You're making a compilation of freezes. All right, okay.
Yeah. I've only got 2. I've missed one. So.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Pick up your game, mate.
Yeah, well, luckily for me, this is recorded, so I can go back and fix that.
Shit. You're gonna fix that in post. You're not gonna fix the fucking syncing issues last week in post, but you're gonna make sure that you get all the Ethys faces.
I've got my priorities set.
Priorities. # professionalism.
There we go. And we just got to keep track of them on the side right here. There we go.
Oh shit! Can we have a Kickstarter to get Ethys a new cam? Yes, please. It's not the
your cam, or is it your internet?
Yeah, it's the internet at the moment. Can we get a Kickstarter to send Ethys to a country that has internet?
Like America.
But
yeah, I don't know. I kind of hold Square Enix a little bit accountable. I don't think this is but
at the same time, you gotta hold the people accountable too. Like this, just saying.
They take responsibility for it. Everyone. Every time the community does something shitty, everyone's like, "Fucking Square Enix! I should have seen this coming." I'm like, "No, you guys are shitty."
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they're being a little bit naive, and maybe they keep sort of having too high expectations of us. But rather than having too low expectations, just stop being shitty.
Yeah, I feel like this is an issue where the community kind of needs to police itself, sort of.
Yeah, but how do you do that? I mean,
you know what you do if a team tries to throw against you, you just stand. You just stand there and not kill them. Just be like, yeah, you wanted fast esos, huh? And then now, listen, 2 wrongs don't make a right, but I don't care right now.
Yeah, just let the draw happen.
Because I mean, blacklisting them, that doesn't help.
No, and it won't allow you to
never helps anyone for anything.
Now, it won't allow you to blacklist someone from another server, right? Or not in the piece.
No.
Why can't
not until they have a system like Battle.net where it's across everything.
Oh,
would that be possible?
Why the fuck can't we do that? Oh my god.
Well, because it's one game. Battle.net covers 5, 6, 7 titles.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
I'm just saying, I still need it.
A system like that is so much fucking work.
It is.
And I don't think it's worth it for one game. If Final Fantasy XI was more relevant and hadn't just shut down 2 of their servers, like their PS2 and Xbox, and Play Online was actually a useful fucking thing, like it never was, then yeah, maybe we could have maybe Play Online could have been our Battle.net, but it never became that. Play Online was supposed to be our Battle.net, but it was like our old age Battle.net. And then all they did was put Final Fantasy XI and fucking Tetramaster on it.
Tetramaster.
Fucking Tetramaster. For $1 a month, you could play Tetramaster, or you could just own Final Fantasy IX. You know, one of those 2 things.
But to get back to it, we're just talking about feeding. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there are people who feed who aren't intentionally doing it. They're just stupid. you can't cure stupid. I'm sorry, but we're talking about intentional feeders, the Care Bears who go in and say like their first word. If if my first question is what's the plan, and your answer is get esos, I'm on the
At least they're honest, right?
I mean, they're honest, but I'm on the wrong fucking team.
That's the right fucking answer.
Esos.
Yeah.
No,
like that.
I mean, I could take kill shit, heal shit, don't die. I mean, I've gotten those before. I could take that, but get esos, get lore. I know I'm on the wrong fucking team.
Bitches.
Bro, this shit going.
Yeah. We're just here for the poos.
We're here for the free chicken. Yep, they there for the free chicken. That's all they there for. But yeah, that's completely different from being a fucking idiot.
Right.
No. You can actually try and still be an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is that I don't mind that. When I go in, I'm not one of those people who gets like super salty when people don't have a plan and they're just like, yeah, let's get in there and kill shit, because it's great fun. Like, it's a lot of fun. It's awesome.
Right.
The feast is fun. If you're queuing with a group, then yeah, you want to have some kind of strategy. But I don't know. I don't mind people doing it for esos, provided they're like having a go, because you may as well, right?
Right.
But I don't know. I guess I have not personally encountered a group of people that are just standing there. Hasn't happened to me.
I have.
I've encountered someone. I've encountered people who would give up. Like,
let's just say I've gotten 3 of my Aether Oils relatively fast.
Yeah,
Right.
I've encountered people who would like try after a while and then just stand out and just let it fucking happen.
But that's just PvP syndrome in any game. You just get people that are sore fucking losers, and blame it on the bat, and they just won't contribute after the first couple of minutes if they're not doing well. There's nothing you can do about that. But I don't know. Is this a really, really so happy? You reckon that it's actually a pretty damn common phenomenon?
All right, so let's go to last Wednesday real quick.
Okay.
I played, I think, 80 some odd matches. I'd say 70 of them get handed us wins.
Fucking hell.
70 out of 80.
Yeah, you see, I haven't seen any. My internet, despite what it may appear at the moment, my internet has been a little bit better than what I was complaining about last week, and I have been doing a bit of feast. I haven't seen a single one.
Don't your internet is
I've seen
perfect.
one. I've seen one.
Maybe I got to assume that it's an American issue again, and that
It
maybe
absolutely
we just need to remove the tombstones from the American.
From Americans. We're going to build a wall, and the tombstones will never go over that. Oh my god.
Oh man. Why is Trump never not funny?
And we're done.
Oh man.
There we go. On that note, we're gonna making PvP great again. I'm fucking done. Oh, I'm fucking done. We're gonna build a wall, make PvP great again. I'm so done. We're sidetracked. This is worse than you pouring on April Fool's Day. I can't. Oh, all the corn. All right. All right. So that's the feast. You guys have any closing thoughts on feeding versus feasting?
If you have to remove the lore, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's a big deal.
Move the ESO. The lore.
Yeah. Well, both.
Yeah. All right.
You know what I mean? Remove the tombstones. I don't think anyone's going to be particularly upset other than the douchebags that are abusing the system already. So.
Right.
Care Bears, go over to the left. Go over there. No.
I want all the triads on the left.
Go over
all
there.
The triads and the ugly women on the left, and all the fine women on this side, right now.
Just go over there. Just go over there. No, we don't need you. No.
Oh man.
Go that way.
All right. Now that we've covered that part of the life letter,
That way.
we're gonna move on to a few more things. The next thing that we're going to be covering is the PSO2 crossover event. We don't really need to. It froze for a second. I almost lost it.
I was really hoping that it was going to freeze there. I was like, please.
Oh, don't worry. Yes. Yes.
Did it work?
Yeah, it definitely worked.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oh man.
See, this is why I'm usually only on once a month, guys.
Oh man, and I am glad to say that
Ethys
is
Hogan
going in the collection right now. There we go. This has become far more entertaining than the show itself. All right. So they actually touched on the PSO2 crossover event very briefly right there. Stop laughing! Stop laughing! You're ruining the show. You're ruining the show. You're ruining the show, Slyh.
Oh my god!
Slyh, you're ruining the show.
I don't give a shit. This shit is hilarious.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, I gotta put I gotta put like my script over it. I can't look. Okay. Go
All
ahead.
right. There we go. Okay. On that note, they talked about the PSO2 crossover event, and they said that they didn't really know what they wanted to do regarding plans for the actual for doing one in Final Fantasy XIV. They have another thing planned first. And I don't blame them. PSO2, we talked about this last week. It's kind of a clusterfuck of crossovers, so it's hard to pick something to pull out of that.
Yeah, it's a bit messy, isn't it? Well, I think that they basically said that they weren't going to do one for PSO2. They're like, oh no, we're not really planning to.
Well, they said they'd like to do one eventually, but there's nothing like in the pipeline. Like, yes, we are going to do one within X amount of time. We'd like to one day, though.
Right, for sure. But what was interesting is that while they were talking about that, we also got some little concept art of some Vagrant story gear.
Yes,
Yeah.
That was interesting, which was weird because it just looked like it didn't make sense for the first time.
Sure.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it looked
That's
very
what I was
strange.
thinking. I'm like, where did that come from? Can you put that in context at all? Like, how would they be introducing that?
I don't know. And besides, Vagrant story, would they really do a collab? Is there a new Vagrant story coming out or something?
I don't think so.
I think they're just adding Vagrant story gear probably as like a fucking veteran reward or some shit, because I don't really know what they're gonna do like for that.
Yeah, it's rare that like 14 teases something that's coming down the pipeline, and we would see later on this year from another Square developer, I guess. So yeah, just it wouldn't make sense for this to tease anything. It would just be something like for nostalgia's sake, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just waiting for us to get our bro trip car. I remember them saying in like a live letter, what was it, like 21, 22? They're like, look, guys, if you see a bunch of bros driving around in a fucking top-down car, just don't be surprised. Ever since then,
the car's going to take off, though. It'll take off.
of course it'll take off.
Now that we've had Final Fantasy 15 uncovered, they showed that the car is the fucking airship.
Yeah, it flies. That's what I'm saying. It's going to take off.
Of course it is.
Yeah,
but that's the thing, is that with Uncovered, I was half expecting to get an announcement for some crossover stuff now.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up a picture of what the car looks like. I'll send it to you because it sounds like you actually haven't seen it at this.
Well, there's also a boat too.
Yeah, there's a boat. You can get boats. Yeah, Ethys, you haven't seen the car, the flying car.
No, I haven't seen it flying.
Yeah.
No,
That's what it looks like.
I haven't seen schnit.
All right, let me pull up the.
That and Cloud's bike.
Well, Cloud's bike we already know is pretty much a non-thing. Like it's not gonna happen. Give it up.
Sure it is.
It's done. It's not happening.
Sure
Shut up.
It's
Shut your
gonna
whore
happen.
mouth.
I agree.
Shut your
It's
whore
gonna
mouth.
fucking happen.
It's gonna fuck
gonna
up.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Whore mouth. Here's what it looks. Fuck! I accidentally closed it like an idiot. Professionalism.
Not as ugly as the other Fenrir, to be fair.
Yeah, the one I'm gonna have soon.
Yeah, the one you're gonna have soon. Have you seen his face, dude? He's got like fetal alcohol syndrome.
This is the second time we've had this conversation, Ethys. I almost banned you from the show the first time. Yeah, see, this is okay. Everyone on the screen, if you haven't seen, if you haven't actually seen what it looks like yet, this is what it looks like right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, all right. And the wings sort of fold. Oh, that is super like old school James Bond. I like that.
Yeah. So odds are
let's see that in 14.
Yeah, I fully, and it has an animation to transform too already.
Yeah. Would you pay $20 for that?
I would do a crossover event for that. I won't spend 24 mounts on a Bennu, on a fucking Sleipnir. I ain't spending dick for money, yo.
Yeah, I feel the same way, but God, that would be tempting, that one.
There we go. All right. No, hopefully that's something that's been a crossover event and not on the cash shop till like 2 years later, like the Lightning stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did we have next? Then they had a whole huge crafting and gathering section.
Woo!
Woohoo.
Yeah.
People complaining that materia is even more expensive on crafters and gatherers now. That
It is.
Well, here's the thing. When they said that they wanted to add this like red script gear, they said they wanted it to be an alternative to melding. Like the option of like getting shit tons of like materia. But it is still pretty much the premier way to do it is to make slightly lower item level stuff and throw melds into it.
Yeah, sure.
And they want to reduce that. They want to use specialists to reduce that. They want to make the red script gear more capable of reducing that effect. So we are probably going to be seeing some changes. But what was interesting to me, 3.3 will see an upgrade to item level in crafters and gatherers. The new gear will be made.
Yes.
Which is already a thing that happens. And you'll want current gear to make it. But it just means does that not sound like it's solving any problems?
No.
Well, they did say explicitly, and to be clear, this is just for discipline of hand, not discipline of land. They said they're going to be giving another means of obtaining Materia 5s.
That has nothing to do with them reducing the need for materia in the first place. It's not
but
like
you don't think it's gonna surely contribute to the availability of that new gear? It's gonna make
it sounds to me like they gave up on that vision of making materia less useful, and that now they just want to make the materia more common, like they did with battle gear.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a fair solution.
Materia is already the solution for my 60 gear anyway, so I'm fine. I'm completely fine with going the way of materia.
Yeah, and it was materia 4, by the way. It was grade 4 materia, not grade 5 materia.
Was it grade 4? Oh, they did correct it. Okay. Yeah. Well, because the question was, can you make it the Beast Tribe dailies give us some discipline of hand or land materia? And they said, no, we're not going to do that, but we are going to make discipline of hand materia more accessible through similar means.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, and they specifically said it was the Ixol that they weren't going to use.
Yeah, they're not going to use the Ixol.
Right. So.
I mean, that would make sense, though, wouldn't it?
It would, and we got people doing it again.
Make too much sense.
Yeah,
Can't
makes
have
too
that.
much sense. Nope. See, you read my mind. You read my mind with that face of yours. And then, now this was probably the strangest question for me. Are you going to add an NPC that can do melds for you?
I don't see that as a strange question, though. I mean, I can.
You know what I see that as? Am I not playing a fucking online game, or should I just go play 11 so I could get 5 NPCs to do all my dungeons for me?
Right.
Here's the thing: for the free slots, completely understandable. But for overmelds, I could, get a person to do it.
The thing is, the people who probably are having the issue of not doing materia melds, they will probably not give a fuck that they can't use over melds. They'll just do the guaranteed ones and then nothing at all.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a good point. So, to make that absolutely clear, those NPCs, we won't be able to use them for forbidden melding. We still need to go to a human being for that. God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan
of.
I'm not a fan of just cutting out people from the process. Like
you're not cutting out people from the process. It's just those first
the people
two
who are going to use this aren't going to bother with the forbidden melds, and the people who do. And guess what? All of the raid gear that we have, we have no reason. All the people who just collect esos every week, no reason to ever talk to another person because forbidden melding's not allowed.
Oh, okay. Here's the thing. Yeah, and you know me, I'm a huge fan of using my words, but a lot of times the people I know, the ones who I trust to do my melds, aren't on, and I'm like, can you do a free and it's probably more than likely a piece of gear that I just got, and I need those first free slots. After that, I can get whenever he gets on, I can get my friend from the FC to do it. So it kind of alleviates something. Now we're not taking the whole.
But what are we talking when? So you're saying that there are points where you just cannot wait for a meld.
Yeah.
What are you going into? You're about to go into a raid? Because if you're about to go into a dungeon or whatever, and you're like, oh, I need my melds, that's bullshit. You don't.
I'll admit it's instant gratification for me. I just want my meld done. I want my meld done, and I want to start working on the overmelds as soon as whoever I get to do my overmelds gets on.
Okay. I just feel like it's I don't know, Happy's right that it sort of sets this precedent of the few things that we do actually have to rely on other players for, sort of moving.
But you're not taking the human element completely out of it.
Or when nobody gets crafted gear and there's no point in doing forbidden melds because all the people don't want to fucking make the crafted gear, they just get the raid gear and then they never need to speak to another player again. Fuck it.
That's a good point.
Just the free slots. Just the free slots.
There's only free slots.
What I think is interesting is that we're getting salty about this one, right? Perhaps I haven't heard your opinion for a long time on the system that's going to be coming with 4.0, I believe, where we're actually going to be taking Grand Company NPCs into dungeons. That
might be coming sooner if I read these notes correctly.
It could be.
Yeah, it seems like that's something they're aiming for in a much nearer future. Okay, so it depends on what kind of things we're doing. If we're talking about literally never needing another player to go into the newer dungeons, I don't like it. If it's going and doing the old shit, I could care less. As long as it's not like you're completely bypassing the need for the duty finder. Your goal when going in there needs to be the leveling of these characters, not you. Right. They need to be the focus. It's you bringing the NPCs through the dungeon, not the other way around.
Right.
That's how I feel about it. If it's that way, perfectly fucking fine with it.
Well, if it's that way, then what do you think we'll get out of it?
I don't know. Grand Company seals. They'll probably rework.
Grand Company seals.
I'm just saying, Grand Company seals. There's a possibility of getting items out of it. You never know. Like treasure maps have a solo map.
And we've got new Grand Company gear coming out. So the new ranks and
yeah. So it's like there's things you can give that don't have to be experience points. But if you want to go through the old dungeons with them, then by all means, like you can already run through the old dungeons completely solo. What's the harm? If you want to do them undersized, it's just as long as you're not cutting out the need to go in with other players. That's what I'm not a fan of.
Sure.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Slyh?
I agree. Like I said, I've already done my stupid shit. So, like, really going in with an NPC isn't gonna help that much. But there are times when I do go in with idiots and I hear horror stories of why the fuck can't these people clear Chrysalis? Why is it that damn hard? I'm not doing this shit again. And it kind of makes them want to have an NPC instead of an actual person because they get paired up with idiots all the time. But
you know what? That sounds like another American problem to me.
It absolutely is.
It is. But yeah, I agree. I would leave it for the lower tier stuff that really doesn't matter, and for the newer dungeons, just keep it human.
I just have no problem with it for older stuff. It gives you another means of progression, like your Chocobo is, but I feel like it's probably a much more. It'll feel better going through a dungeon with NPCs than it will just grinding out Earth's Fount with your Chocobo.
Sure. All right. Sure.
And on top of that, if they tie in backstory elements, like if you're going in with like generals from the Grand Company, and you can learn a little bit more about them in the process, then even more so.
Right.
Yeah, see, I was when they first started talking about this, the first thing that came to my mind was the Path Companion from 1.0.
Yes, who is out there and hopefully still alive somewhere.
No.
Totally dead.
No, they're dunzos. Yeah, I was thinking something like that, and it does give them some opportunities to give us some interesting stories for some of these sort of side characters.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, I didn't even do the Deliver and Moogle quest, but I respect what it did to teach you about, like, the backstory. The Mammal Jaw, the one who you have the fate for and who's not allowed in the one area, like, that's a good one. And
yeah, absolutely.
Learning more about characters is never a bad thing. I'm sure Koji has a ton of fun with that one.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When he's allowed to.
Yeah, when he's allowed to. Let's talk about sects. That was a great picture from the other day.
Oh my god.
That's a great monk quest.
You see, that's what happens when you give Koji a little bit too much of a leash.
Yeah, let's talk about sects. Yeah. Great name for a quest, Koji. So, one thing that came up, and probably the scariest thing on the list, Anima armor.
Well, okay, to be fair, they
worst fucking idea ever.
They all burst out laughing. I thought it was so funny, and their answer was like, "Yeah, all right, really? Really? Is that a serious question? You sure?
Really? Like, yeah, this has to be April Fool's. I'm sorry, April Fool's is coming up.
Think about it."
Oh my god, I couldn't even believe that was like... I mean, the thing is, that's been a question. People actually want it. I don't know
I
don't know who you Slythesquirrel are, but yeah, I know you're there. No, they're Americans!
Really?
Yeah!
I see JP players banging on about that all the time, about how there's only one relic grind and how they can only do so many relics and they're so bored.
Because this is going to be so much different.
Yeah. So throw an actual armor relic on top of your weapon relic, and do them both at the same time. See how much soul you have left after that.
Oh man!
Well,
you see, the problem is that like they it's obviously not compulsory content, but the three of us, we'd sort of feel like we had to do it, right?
I would do it.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I'd do it. I'd be like, oh, shit. Whenever they announce something like that, I'm like, all right.
Y'all, there's a line.
Whenever they announce something like that,
I gotta draw. I'm sorry. There's a line I gotta draw. Sorry. Fuck y'all. I can only do one relic. No.
All the time, and you invariably cross them like a week later.
No. I'm good with the weapon. I don't need any armor. The armor probably looks like shit anyway. And it probably has shit. It probably has shit stats to begin with. So why the fuck am I going to grind for something I'm not going to use?
The whole point was they wanted to give Anima armor that was customizable eventually. That was the idea.
Right.
You can put all the shitty skill speed on it that you want.
That's the one. They're going to put crit dead on it for us, and every single armor piece from now until the end of time that you get from tomestones is going to be accuracy skill speed. Right. So would you do it?
You better go fast like Sonic.
Do it? No.
You're going to be over there being super Sonic?
No.
Now, the worst part was that they said, yeah, maybe in 4.x.
No, for fuck's sake.
They were like, no way we're doing it, if at all.
No, it would be 4.1 when we get it. And there would be so much wrong with it that, it's not even going to be feasible. So, no, fuck y'all. Y'all can have this shit.
All right.
And here's the thing.
I'm good.
If it's one piece of Anima armor, or if it's a whole set, because if it's a whole set of armor, fuck, the effort's gonna be fucking quintupled because it's 5 pieces.
And you stupid motherfuckers actually want to do this shit. Like, what is wrong with you?
Well, there are people that are asking for it. There are people that have been asking for it on the forums for years.
Right.
So what I would say is that all of you reasonable, sane people, go and make some noise in those threads.
Use your words, please.
Yeah.
Use words outside the game.
Don't let them do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Drizzy, 2016.
Used to call me on my cell phone. All right. So moving on from Anima armor, because we don't want to dwell on that as long as the quest is going to take. Let's talk about free companies next. Now, we have more plots coming in 3.3, so if you're someone without a house, get ready. Be up at 4 in the morning or suffer longer. They also have an apartment system coming after 3.3.
Yay, slumlords.
Yeah. Basically, it's 512 apartments in Ishgard that'll become available.
Now, do you think they're going to be purchasable, or you think that Sly's got the right idea and we're going to have to rent them off owners?
I would be very shocked to see if we had to rent them.
That would be so good. That would be fucking...
Here's the thing.
That's an Airbnb thing with your...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If they allow it to rent it, then they can pretty much enforce the system we have now, or if you don't use it for 45 days, but you don't pay your rent.
You don't pay your rent. They just toss your shit out, and you don't even get the key to go back in. You're just locked out.
Yeah.
And all your shit's lost. Congratulations.
you go to open your door and get the mail one day, and all of a sudden Martha is in the fucking house banging her boyfriend, and you're like, who are you?
Wow.
What are you doing in my house? Bitch, this is my house. You don't have a house no more.
But we have more plots coming in 3.3 also. So if you don't want an apartment and you want a full-fledged house, more of those will be available too.
Oh, man.
Also, we had the Orchestrion. We got to go back to that because they went, even though they kind of broke up the Orchestrion topic. People asked finally if I thought this was funny if we could get music from other Final Fantasy games, and I thought we would, and they said,
probably no way.
And well, here, okay, so let me explain
can do it.
That's exactly my point. Final Fantasy 15's radio has music from other Final Fantasies. And that's a fucking one-time purchase.
Yeah, no, I suppose that's a good point.
Unless...
But the way I see it, so Mike, you would have come across this problem as well, is that with the YouTube copyright thing, is that we've got full use of pretty much anything that Soken's written, but with the few pieces that Uematsu has written, it's sort of a bit. Now, Uematsu has composed for 15 as well, right?
No,
he has composed nothing for 15.
Right, so he's just retired now. He's just done. Is that it?
No, he just didn't do music for 15.
I mean, he's on the road right now doing Distant Worlds.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, you see, so that's why it didn't really surprise me when they were sort of apprehensive about doing it for 14, because you got two different composers, and you'd have to have a way of, making sure that he got some revenue. It's sort of...
Are you serious? Uematsu?
Yeah, dude.
Is he? He's probably got like a mansion somewhere in a boatload.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, he does, dude.
A boatload of hoes in
and
everything.
A boatload of hoes.
Boatload of hoes. Nube Uematsu. You heard it.
Yeah.
Oh
boats and hoes. The boats and hoes, the Nobuo Uematsu composition.
But I mean, he should, even if he does have a boat full of hoes, he still should be getting royalties for his music.
Yes, he should.
Yes, he should. But I mean, I feel like he could make that same deal that Soken made. I mean,
here's the thing. So they said if they do it, they'll probably have to put it in the Mog Station, and then they would give him a piece of those individual transactions. That's the most likely thing.
And that's how that would work, and that would make sense.
Makes perfect sense to me.
It's either that, or it's try to micromanage it and give him like a 0.001 of everyone's fucking monthly fees. Just
right.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's been a disaster.
Still a lot. It's still a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Now we're actually going to kind of skip past the item section because it was just about we'll get the Chinese version. We'll get this Chinese version of the game's items in the Mog Station eventually. No good shit. They're pretty nice looking items, but like it's more fucking Mog Station shit. I don't care. There was a lot of Mog Station talk. Like so many people.
Oh, there was way too much Mog Station talk.
There was
They're really
the
trying to
Chinese
push Mog
version. There's songs. There's fucking.
Which is a worry because it means that like a lot of people are talking about it. It means like a lot of people are asking questions and put this on the Mog Station.
You know what it comes down to? You know how many people have said if I could buy an Anima weapon instead of grinding for it, I would. Do you know how many people I've seen say that?
Man.
Then it's gonna become
Warframe.
It's gonna become Warframe, and I don't want it to become Warframe. Sorry,
but you love Warframe.
I love it, but damn, no. Leave that shit over there.
Leave that shit.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to a piece of content that
no Materia on the Mog Station, no weapons,
just purple dye for Sly.
100, like 99 Materia for what? $50 or something? Yeah.
But a bitch ain't one. Hit me. All right.
No.
Okay, but so let's move on to something that didn't have the words Mog Station in it. The new treasure hunting dungeons.
This I'm excited for. I'm really surprised we didn't see more of it.
Well, they actually had a post about it because it was left out of the official translation, and people asked why on the official forums was it not mentioned. So it's going to be a new type of dungeon called a treasure hunting dungeon, and this is probably the new 1 to 4 man content they mentioned in the live letter prior.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's going to be implemented next patch, and it is basically going to sometimes turn your treasure map into an opening to a dungeon. And you have to kill every enemy within the dungeon and, traverse the, dungeon by picking different paths and get to the end to get your loot. So it's basically just a super complicated version of treasure maps.
Yeah. Now, do you think the rewards are going to be much higher or a different sort of table than the maps?
That's what I'm scared
I
of.
know, because they said it's still going to be really easy. You should still beat it on your first try. There's no reason that you should struggle with it.
I kind of feel like it's going to be akin to Trials and probably give the same shit that you get from a normal, aka dragon skin or wyvern skin. Like, I feel like they might put us through more trouble just to get the same shit. And that's what I'm scared of.
I feel like if they're going to do that, if they're going to make it the same loot table, then they're probably going to increase the quantity. It's going to be, twice or three times as many drops as you get from a chest.
And the one thing
multiple chests in there.
And the one thing I could see them alleviating would be like the rare minions that you could get from maps, like increase the drop rate of them. Maybe that would be a solution.
But I feel like, so the idea is to get more people into treasure hunting, surely.
Right.
Is this going to do it?
No, I mean, people are already into it. So, like, treasure
hunting.
hunting.
People are into it when there's decent rewards. And as soon as the rewards tank in price, then you just have a few select people that kind of do it all the time.
Yeah. The ones mainly who are into it are the ones who can, one, buy the maps. Two, need the money. Because no matter what, dragon skin or wyvern skin, you're going to make money off of this. You're going to get some kind of return. So those are mainly the people who this is aimed at. And like, if they don't really see any added benefit to it, then why? I don't think they'll do it. I don't think it'll hold.
I think it'll hold. I mean, if you imagine you're doing a treasure map and you're like, oh shit, we got a dungeon right now, ladies and gents.
Yeah,
that's pretty exciting. Although, is it gonna be the same dungeon every time? Is there gonna be like a rotation?
That's another thing that worries me.
Is it going to be randomly generated? Are the mobs going to be randomly generated? How's it going to work? I really wanted to hear more about it.
They wanted you to want to hear more. So at the end of the month, when we have our next live letter, that you can learn more.
I think what it's going to be is it'll be randomly generated, akin to the area that you're in. So you'll probably get something different from the Forelands than you would in Sea of Clouds.
So you think it'll be like a thematic sort of thing?
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I found really interesting with the concept art that we did get is that there's like a little sort of sigil on the floor. It looks Alexandrian. Like, I don't know what to call it. The sigil or whatever that's like the centerpiece of the floor is something that we see in Alexander a lot. I was like, that's really interesting. Maybe we're going to hear some more lore about these people that summoned Alexander, about this him. What's his name again? What are we calling him now?
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
they said it.
There's no fucking reason to remember his name at the moment. Like, he's a nobody. We know nothing about him. Nope. Anyway, so for a moment I was like, oh, maybe with these treasure dungeons, we're going to be learning more about those people. Maybe they built these, treasure stockpiles and stuff throughout the realm. And that's the thing that excites me, of course, is the sort of potential lore aspect to it.
Dylan. There you go.
Dayon. Yeah.
Dayon,
thanks,
yeah.
guys.
Not Dylan.
So that said, what I would really like to see is what you're suggesting, Sly, is that we get a different theme dungeon depending on the area, and that maybe we find like an old Miyachi vault or an old, Belladine little dungeon or whatever, and that within those there's sort of some bits and pieces that we can learn as well while we're down there. That'll motivate me to go and do them. I reckon that would be really cool. It'd be another sort of fun way to introduce lore.
And maybe we just get better rewards.
Yeah, maybe that.
Yeah, maybe.
And maybe our next Anima weapon has stuff in there.
Yeah. I don't want to think about it.
No.
Yeah, hey, I just finished my monk one today. I'm good.
No.
And I got my 240 weapon for my ninja. I'm set.
No. Misa Anima weapon no here.
No.
No.
You done?
Yeah.
All right.
No. Okay, I'm good.
On that note, the next thing to talk about is the gold saucer, which a lot of these changes have now been official for the past week or so. Holy shit! I am shitting MGP.
Dude, you might want to Let's fucking see a doctor.
Yeah, you might want to get that checked.
It's so good. So Chocobo Racing got challenge modes where there's races against NPCs, and as long as you beat the NPC, what do you mean? You were fucking hype over the fucking Chocobo Racing
in the beginning. Now I'm just doing my mini crackpot and jumbo crackpot. Which
honestly, you're missing out.
People tell me I'm missing out on freaking Lords of Verminion too, but I'm really.
Yo, I did a bunch of Verminion challenges today. There's one I didn't realize this because I had never actually done any of them. Is that there's one that's for Tantara hard mode where you're up against the slime and you need to send a minion to grab a bomb and then place it under the thing to explode it to break it up into pieces. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's pretty cool.
Oh my god.
I know that the Bahamut one has him doing mega flares, but that's all I remember. For
what?
The very last one, yeah. You have to dodge mega flares, and the mind flayer summons imps that tether to him from. I'm sorry, the Tamtara. It was Copperbell was the slime. Tamtara was the mind flayer.
Right.
And it summons imps that you have to kill because they're tethered to it to make sure it can take damage. And it's pretty cool. I liked it.
That sounds tolerable.
It's pretty fun. I would do it. I would do Lords of Verminion PvE challenge. Just take one fucking minion and spam it. Like I've been using Fenrir pups. Just literally summon 20 of the fucking thing and then just go to town. It's so fucking easy. Just micro it a little bit, you'll be fine. So they add the challenge logs for the Chocobo Racing, and if you do all 15, you get a barding, and it's worth about 460,000 MGP.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And on top of that, you get MGP for winning the matches. You get about 400 to 600 for winning. And if you have the free company benefit, that gives you like 10% more MGP from like mini games. It actually accrues on the challenges too. So if you can get actually like 40k from the challenges, yeah.
Huh.
So it's pretty fucking cool. So my Fenrir amount is right around, and the challenge log for the Gold Saucer is you play 3 Verminion games, you get 10,000 MGP. You could just walk into a match against the NPC, go make a fucking sandwich, come back and do that 3 times, and then you'll have, not only will you have 10,000 MGP, but you'll have 3 sandwiches.
But happy,
more importantly,
you're just care-bearing MGP. What about the people who care about Lords of Verminion?
Oh, you're gonna get.
I'm not throwing matches against them. I'm throwing matches against NPCs.
What happens when you get Fenrir though?
Then I get the cloud card, and then I throw it away in Idleshire. Show people how little I give a shit.
Right, and then what?
And then I get all the other stuff I haven't been buying, like my Adamantoys and all the glamour stuff I don't equip, which I just.
So you're having enough fun with the gold saucer that you are going to keep doing it until you get all the things.
Yes.
It's not all about Fenrir for you.
No, just about 98%.
Well, you see the point that I'm making is that they're increasing, MGP drops and stuff like that. But like, what good is MGP?
Fenrir, Adamantoys.
There's no, what you're trying to say is there's no lasting value after all that bullshit.
Well,
there is when they add more stuff.
It's not like, raiding, at least I feel like most people don't raid primarily for the rewards. They raid because raiding is fun. It seems to me like you're talking about Chocobo Racing and Lords of Verminion as in...
Well, the Chocobo Racing I actually have been having fun with, but fuck those NPCs. They're cheaters.
Right.
It's fun, though.
Okay.
I got a Pedigree 9 Chocobo. I'm down.
All right.
I'm down. I mean, Fenrir's going to fly in 3.3 anyway, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, he's going to, they want him. They actually, he doesn't know what it's going to look like, but he told them to make it to where he, like, breathes ice under himself as he's running.
Yeah, he's just going to be, like, spewing the whole time he's running.
Going to be like that freeze guy from The Incredibles.
Yeah, except
Samuel Jackson.
Frozone. But
Frozone.
He's going to remind me of Falcor from the Never-Ending Story.
That's a good point.
Where's my super suit? That's all I'll be thinking of the whole time. And then they're also going to be adding another flying mat, the floating puff plant, which they showed in Churning Mists, which makes everyone afraid for Moogle Beast Stripe quests. Everyone is frightened to death now that it's Moogle Beast Stripe quests.
Well, I don't know what else, what other mount the Moogles would have.
A Moogle?
A Moogle.
just a larger Moogle?
Yeah, a fat-ass Moogle.
That plays Good King Moggle Mog.
Sorry, Yeah, it makes sense to me as a Moogle map, and I don't think everyone should be so bloody apprehensive about the Moogle Beast Trap quest. I reckon they'll be fun. I reckon they'll be fun. They'll be good.
Funny. You're funny.
We're gonna ride Moogles.
Yeah. And on top of that, the what's it called? They're gonna start making the tank mounts able to fly too.
Yeah.
But only
Now,
one
how
at
do we
a
think
time.
that they're gonna work?
I don't fucking know. Maybe they can breathe ice under themselves too. Maybe they can. Maybe they can sprout wings like the DeLorean of 15.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think the lion's gonna have wings. I just want to see the bear with like a cape.
Yeah, we call the lion with wings a chimera. It literally is the chimera model, but it's white with only one head.
Or a griffin. Well, no. The griffin has the. Yeah, it has the bird head. No, you're right. Yeah.
So then, before they got into the UI guy, Yoshi P mentioned those Grand Companion dungeons, and they said it's probably going to be in 3.3.
Yes.
And along with new Grand Company ranks.
Yes, and new Grand Company gear, which looks interesting.
Yes, that's one word for it.
What's your word for it?
Moving on.
No,
That is my word for it. Moving on.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Grand Company mercenary system, where you can basically level NPCs, and they're supposed to see this. I figured this was going to be safe for 4.0 because I fully expected this to be like, we're trying to take back Alamigo from the Garleans. We need new recruits,
right. And we're training up members of the Resistance.
Right.
Just call it retainers, dude. Just retainers.
Yeah, retainers can solo primals and steal from houses. Like, they're perfect for war.
They're OP.
Yeah. I'm down for that. I'm down to recruit my retainer to a Grand Company. I'm down.
I think that would be awesome if we could level with our retainers.
Yeah, then I could... Yeah, maybe. One day. Good luck. Good luck. And then they just showed off a few of those shirts. The ninja, the white mage shirt, the Paisa mask. Bunch of new merch that they're going to be selling at Nico Nico Shokaigi, which is when the next live letter is.
Woo!
Then they went on a break, and then they came back and they had the UI guy on. Now, like I said earlier,
the UI
guy. The UI lead designer, Hiroshi Minagawa.
Wait. I love it because every time they get someone on, the first question, what do you do?
Yeah. And he made fun of that question. He was like, I work on the UI.
Like, and every time, what? They still ask this fucking question every time.
Oh, man.
What do you do? I work on the UI.
Yeah, he was like, why would you ask me that? Like, come on, seriously? What do you do, UI guy? He's like, I was going to make a Bill Nye joke because it rhymed, but yeah. Bill Nye, the UI guy. There you go. All right, so they asked him about what he's worked on. That's the other thing. Tactics, Vagrant Story. Hey, there you go. Final Fantasy 12, Tactics Ogre, and of course 14. And apparently he's also the art lead.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. So apparently they wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, he wears a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so it's like, I'm working on the UI and UI. All right, now I'm gonna draw this flower. All right, there we go. You'd think maybe it would mean that like combining those two things, that the UI like would have prettier things on it. Nope.
Wow, shots fired.
He's keeping it simple, Happy.
Yeah,
Come
keeps
on,
it simple.
damn.
He keeps it very simple.
He also seems very protective of his baby when we were talking about the UI. Particularly talking about add-ons.
That's the only reason I watched the second half.
Yeah, and he's saying, we can have some like visual mods to the add-ons of the UI, but no new tools. No new tools.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Happy's doing the Batman voice.
Where are my add-ons? Where are they? I actually typed it out like that in the notes.
Yeah,
that's why.
yeah.
You did.
It literally in all caps says, where is it? It's point number... Where the fuck are my add-on? I know it's about add-on. There it is. Add-ons! Where are they? That's what it is.
I think we can basically treat this as confirmed now that when we do get UI add-ons, they're going to be purely aesthetic, which is, that's cool, whatever. But there's going to be no new officially endorsed tools like DPS meters or anything like that.
Nope.
Because there's no way, like we've been putting so much pressure on them. There's no way we're going to produce some kind of new leverage that's going to make it at this point.
Give us DPS meters. We'll stop feeding them.
We as a community have to be up in arms enough for them to finally notice it and say, okay, fine, shut up.
Dude, we have been. We've been up in arms about it for years. That's why we got the stone sea sky seaman.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah,
exactly that.
I mean, that in itself is a good tool still, but I mean, I feel like the community is split. Some who think it's an awesome idea, and some who think like in the wrong hands.
I don't think it's all that split.
In the wrong hands, I'm on the side that in the wrong hands, like it's a terrible idea. But there's part of me that's on the other side and it says I want to know what the fuck my number is. I'm not on a PC. I can't. I mean, I do have a PC, but I'm not playing a PC. I can't access all these tools that people get to use because you won't make them for PS4 or PS3 players.
Sure.
You know what I thought was funny? There's now a website out there, and people go, "Oh, it calculates your DPS for Stone Sky Save."
And I don't like that.
Do you understand that's an entire website dedicated to taking one static number and dividing it by the number of seconds that you fucking spent in the fight?
Yes.
You know what else does that? A calculator.
That is fucking terrible. And people said it's accurate, and
thank you for
it might be a little bit accurate, but I want to see a hardcore number like a parser. Just give me a fucking parser, but a personal one, not one for everybody else. Fuck them. They can look up their own numbers. I don't give a shit.
Right.
Just I don't know.
Again, they don't want to give power to the douchebags.
Yeah,
but
it's shit. You can carry the coin every week.
But it's the same thing as they're like putting esoterics on the feast is giving power to the douchebags to be douchebags.
Not really.
You know what I mean?
Moving on. VR, virtual reality.
Why?
It's not happening in 14. All right, they're not developing, and for so long people have said it's been confirmed they're already working on VR stuff for 14. No, all they did was do one tech demo with a piece of hardware that works on every PlayStation 4 title.
Yeah,
and they did Titan with it in first person. That's all it was. They said they're probably not going to do it.
If they did do it, would you use it?
No.
No.
You were a little hesitant.
No, I didn't. I didn't think you guys would actually ask me after my previous statement.
Okay, just checking.
Well, I feel like a lot of people would be interested in using it for exploration and just like wandering around the towns and stuff like that.
That's basically what they said if they were going to do VR.
For raids and like serious content, it would just be ridiculous. It'd just be nauseating.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth the investment.
I
agree.
If anything, how about this? Put a DPS meter in the VR headset. Right? There you go. You can see your numbers all the time.
Why do I bother with
sightseeing log in virtual reality? Sightseeing log in virtual reality. You can literally do sightseeing. You can actually kneel and pray at a location. You're good to go. Slash lookout. You don't even have to do slash lookout. Just actually look out.
Chocobo racing in VR.
Chocobo racing in VR. When that douchebag is coming up on you in the rear, you just turn back and be like, "Go faster." There you go. Now this was probably the most confusing thing: the double cross hotbar. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't.
It's so originally people thought it was okay. They're giving us double the amount of buttons on the hotbar.
Yeah, which they're not.
all it does is it freeze frames a hotbar when you switch, so you can keep track of the cooldowns on that hotbar.
Which makes sense.
Okay, PS3, maybe. But if you're on the PlayStation 4 or PC, or even Mac at this point, you can just put a linear hotbar above your regular hotbar.
Sure.
I don't understand why there's development in this.
Well, maybe some people think that looks messy. I don't know if it would be a huge amount of development to do this. It seems like a pretty straightforward little feature.
It's not a huge amount of development, but I feel like it's wasted development.
And it won't even be ready for 3.3. It's going to be 3.4.
Yeah. You see, I was a bit confused by it as well, but I don't use a control, so I can't speak to it. But Sly, if you reckon it's pretty useless, then I'll take your word for it, dude.
Yeah, and this is coming from a PS4 player. I don't know how other PS4 players feel, but there's really no reason.
I guess the one saving grace is that you don't have to edit your UI. You just have to kind of enable it.
Sure.
And it's there.
Well, I mean, everyone has to edit their UI.
Yeah.
Like it's an MMO, you edit your UI. And again, sure, it might help PS3 players, but why are we making new developments for PS3 players when we're planning to discontinue the PS3?
Dun dun dun.
And see, here's the other thing: you could switch to the other cross hotbar and use that. I can already do that without the need of another functionality. They could extend the hotbar through
DPS meter. Oh god, that's gonna be a thing. Yeah, do that.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like it's just doing a bunch of things we can already do, and the game does fine, in my opinion.
Well, while we were talking about the UI, we're talking about like useless developments that they're making. There's one that I really liked, and that was the fact that we're going to be able to save 3 different sets of UI sort of presets, right?
Right.
So you can have, your DPS UI, you can have your tanking UI, you can have your healing UI. This is something that I've been wanting forever because, you want different things centered depending on which role you're playing, and having to go through and fucking mess with your UI every single time you change classes is so frustrating.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I've been wanting it to save with armory sets, but this is good. This is really, really good. The fact that we can have these 3 different presets.
Better than nothing, that's for damn certain.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because every day I literally go into PvP, I like shit. I still have half my PvE bars. I go back to PvE, I have half my PvP bars. It's the worst. The worst. Also the max amount of macros, like this was weird because it was like
this was weird.
It was like, so currently you have X amount of macros per like account.
We get 100 per character at the moment.
Right. They want to make it so that all the macros, you can share them between characters. But they specifically said you won't. It's not like you'll have more macros per character. You just have more macros across the entire. I was like, I'm so lost. Can you just show me?
So it means that if you have 3 characters, you're going to have a pool of 300 macros, which you just share across the whole account. If you have 10 characters, you're going to have 1,000 macros. Just ridiculous.
But they made it seem like you didn't have access to more macros. Like,
they said it was based on the number of characters that you had. So if you've only got 1 character, you got your 100 macros, nothing's going to change. That's what they were trying to say.
Okay, yeah.
But have you guys got your 100 macros filled up?
Hell no.
No.
I don't use any, for my combat abilities anyway, I don't use any macros.
The only thing I really use macros for now is fucking PvP. And I don't even use those anymore because people fucking listen.
But people who need more than 100 macros,
what are you doing?
I don't know. What are they doing? I mean, they're probably doing like an awful lot of RP.
Right, that's fair.
Which is fair, which is fine. But still, like up to 1,000 macros. It's interesting that that's a sort of priority, isn't it?
I don't know. Moving on from that, there was a bunch of other kind of like details there, like glamour overriding, like making it so that glamour is separate per job as opposed to latching on to one piece. Great. Dots not appearing on targets in 24-man instances or the hunts. Great, fix it, because I'm annoyed. And every time I go in, I do my opener, and one of the dots is there, and the other one isn't. And it's like, please, I can't do it. I can't. I just need them to be there. And then the scariest thing was when they asked him about new actions. So we're running out of space on our we're running out of space on our hotbars. And are there really any adjustments to hotbars for new skills? And he just said, I don't know how many actions we're gonna get. It's like, did you just say how many? The answer better not be more than one. The answer better not be more than 0.
I also hope he's not saying he doesn't know how many because he's lost count.
Yeah, and then Yoshida was like, "We're currently in the planning phases, so we don't know what how many we're adding yet." And I was like, "Don't say you don't know how many. Just say 0. Just say you're not doing any more." The only way I want them to do new skills is if they start making combos like one button and it just like automatically changes to the next piece of the combo. It's the only way I want them.
Yeah.
If that changes, but then you have abilities that break off into like 2 abilities, then those 2 abilities, one of those breaks off into another one, and then it's like, all right, I'm lost. I got nothing anymore. It's just I don't know. No more skills, please. Just
that's all right. Just anyone who orders 4.0 gets a free MMO mouse. Just send them all over.
No, everybody who how about this fucking the microphone on the PlayStation 4 controller? You can tell it to use abilities. Just be like internal release.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Great. Now we're sound like fucking Dragon Ball.
Imagine doing your opener as a monk. I can't even do it out laughing.
This is gonna be the worst episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Change form.
Oh my God.
Form. Meditation.
Now you see, all I can think of with that is the fact that that Siri and the Google speech recognition, they cannot deal with the Australian accent. So I'm just waiting for my PS4 controller being like, "Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I didn't say that in English, please."
See, that would save buttons if Broil was a trade-off for Ruin, but some people end up using Ruin to save MP still. I remember in A4 Savage, I think the White Mage was spamming Ruin instead of like Stone 2 because it was more MP efficient or some shit like that. Just talk right. That's the best advice I've ever seen. Just talk right.
Just talk right. You see, that's one thing that I would love to see macros for, is that I could just sit back and be like, computer, execute Ninja Opener Alpha, and then just fucking go make a sandwich.
Go mac a sandwich?
Yeah, go mac a sandwich.
Imagine trying to do your fucking ninjutsu on there. Ten, chi, jin. Ninjutsu. Execute. Huton. That's not Huton.
Final Fantasy 14 Anima Edition. Got it. All right.
Pretty much you need the background like turning blue with like the fast-paced like stars every time you do it.
Dude, I would get way too into it. That would make streams so much more entertaining. Oh my God.
Yeah, once, and then afterwards annoying.
Yeah. You get tired of it really fucking quick.
Yeah, especially for the Dragoon opener. Are you fucking kidding me? And then you have the latency of your voice to the game of it reading.
Oh man.
And then this one, kind of important to me, but I guess it's important to everybody because I'm a fucking hoarder. Are there any plans to increase inventory/armory chest slots? It will be increasing the number. It'll take some time, but it will be happening. They just haven't finalized the number yet.
Man, if I had legs, I'd be standing up clapping.
Well, they've stopped making excuses for it.
Though they stopped using the excuse openly, they're still thinking it while they're saying this. They're still saying to themselves,
"Thank God."
But I mean, it's gotta happen for 4.0. No one's gonna have any space left with new jobs and all this new leveling gear.
Yeah, let's get copy bags. Fuck it.
Yeah, gobby bags.
Gobby bags.
Yeah. So after that, another piece of controversial stuff. 7-Eleven campaign in Japan.
Oh shit.
You purchase a soda, you get a point, and you use those points to get rewards like Etherite tickets, Heaven's Crackers, MGP gold cards, and I even wrote in the notes, fuck, I'll buy 7 sodas for that. a Titan mask, and a housemaid's attire.
Have you guys seen any of these items in game yet?
I have.
No.
They look phenomenal.
They are everywhere.
Yeah, on your server they're
On
everywhere.
Tonberry. Yeah.
Because it's Japanese server.
Honestly, I'm not too butthurt. I don't think I would be using any of those glamours. The Ifrit mask is pretty cool. I've seen that a few times. It's got like a nice little glow to it.
Oh, sorry, the Ifrit one comes.
Yeah, there's an Ifrit one and a Titan one. The Fat Chocobo, I don't really care about that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just salty because they basically said that they're eventually going to be bringing it to America and Europe.
I'll go buy you 28 sodas.
You're going to go buy me 28 sodas?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna. You know what I'm gonna do?
Sodas, or is this just an excuse for you to drink sodas?
No, I'm buying myself 28 sodas too.
Right.
So
Okay.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna record my trip to 7-Eleven to go get the sodas, and I'm putting it up on YouTube.
You're gonna buy 56 sodas.
Yeah.
Who's gonna carry all that shit?
Me. And I have to record myself trying to like carry it, like fumbling it and everything.
Oh man!
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stack all the sodas.
Yeah.
And
Make like a soda pyramid.
Right, I'm gonna make a soda pyramid, and then I am going to throw a medicine ball at it. I need to buy a medicine ball.
Say like you were gonna record yourself drinking like 50 sodas.
I would die.
Like in 20 minutes, just like gotta get to the bottom.
I would literally need to have my pants down urinating while I was doing it.
Mate, that's what the empty soda cans are for.
Yeah. Those aren't going to be enough.
Just make sure that you don't pick up a refilled one.
Yeah, and then here's the thing. In Europe, they don't really have 7-Elevens. In America, we have a bunch of 7-Elevens. So in Europe, are they just going to do like doing Doritos or some shit?
Who fucking knows? I mean, we've got 7-Elevens here, and they don't want to. They didn't say anything about
fancy do codes.
I don't care about the fucking 3 Australian players.
Oh man. If it's fountain drinks, that'll be even. No, it's not fountain drinks because there's pictures of like the shelves being cleaned out in Japanese convenience stores.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. Pretty fucking serious.
They take all of these campaigns so fucking seriously.
Like, oh my Jesus, like, clean these places out. These 7-Elevens are just like, yeah, soda, here, fatty, go. Yeah. And you know what? That's why the final reward's a fat white chocobo. Because they know that that's America.
That's what you're going to look like after drinking all the soda.
I'm surprised that the fat white chocobo doesn't have, like, a fucking Mountain Dew hanging from it instead of a cake.
Now that would be
bag
awesome.
of Doritos.
That would be
got a bag of
Kanye
Doritos.
glasses.
Yeah, it's
MLG hat.
doing Doritos from the fucking thing instead of cake.
See, that would make so many people mad if they had like that kind of product placement in game, but I would love that. That would be so good.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They also have BitCash now in Japan. And apparently another 7-Eleven thing is you get 30,000 MGP if you buy a BitCash time card.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Versus worth 3,000 yen or higher. You just get 30,000 MGP. Fuck it, right?
Right.
Next event at Nico Nico Chokaigi, we'll talk about 3.3. They're also going to have the CEO of Level 5 back again. Level 5 is the company that does Yokai Watch. And I'm still expecting that to be the next collaboration. Other than, didn't they talk about another thing? Other than the 7-Eleven one. Yeah, okay. I consider that a collaboration event, as far as I'm concerned. So that'll be
apparently, Akihiro Hino, he's a big Final Fantasy XIV nerd.
Yeah. Which comes to something that's someone else who's a way bigger nerd, considering what they're doing on the fucking news station, which I think already happened, actually.
Oh, that is amazing!
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was yesterday.
Yeah, what channel was it?
News Check 11 airing on NHK. They
had they changed their theme
to the Alexander, boss, 1 through 3 boss, and 5 through 7.
Man, so good.
Seeking the peace of reason. That is on a fucking news station. It's called Locust.
They're talking about killing Uplanders on the news station.
Well,
that's appropriate, actually. I mean, because what is the evening news but a sort of collage of dead Uplanders? I mean, if I was a Kirby, I'd be tuning into that every night, being like,
Yeah, I mean, you are, though, so I'm sure you do. So the next live letter is on Friday, April 29th. That's when the next one is.
Woo.
They also had a bunch of other stuff here. An official gathering, crafting, and gold saucer guide, which is already on sale.
Woo!
On the Japanese Amazon, if you know how to order from there. Marco actually has a guide on how to purchase that. Yeah. So, it's fucking, this is so weird. They added fucking cactar lamps to the crane claws in Japan. Like, what is all this? And they're going to be at PAX East, by the way. Yoshi P himself's going to be at PAX East. He's going to have a light Q&A at PAX East. I'll be sure to say hello. I'll be sure to say hello to him for everyone.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
oh, thanks. That's very generous of you.
Yeah, I'll make sure I get a picture of just me and him and not you.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'll
Yeah, that's
Photoshop.
good.
I'll show. How about this? I'll Photoshop
Yep.
one of these 5 pictures. You just pick which one.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Dude,
Yeah.
Photoshop the one that makes it look most like I'm kissing Yoshi.
I don't know. It looks like you want to kiss him the most.
No,
in the
it
third
has
one.
to be. It has to be the other. It has to be like the Hulk. I mean, the Hulk Hogan Ethys.
No, I don't know. The
No.
third one, and the first column looks like you want to kiss Yoshi P, but you're not. Like you're like desiring him.
All right. Yeah. No, I can work with that.
Right.
But I don't want you to Photoshop it in. I want you to like print it out and get like a framed photo and like hold it next to him.
Perfect.
All right? Okay. Sweet.
All right.
Awesome.
Done. Consider it done. You're laughing now, but listen, my girlfriend did this with a friend of ours.
Oh, I know. She fucking knew it. Mel would definitely do it.
Yeah, with our friend Andy, and brought it to PAX South, and they
saw
were
that.
bringing them
Oh,
all
man,
over the
that's
place. So this
was
is
so
very easy
fun.
to do. And that's a wrap for everything that was pretty much in the live letter. We got to talk about our feast versus feeding. We got to talk about some of the key points of the live letter. I'm looking forward to the next one. I feel like they've gotten a little bit better in recent times with these live letters. There's generally better questions being answered, minus the what does the UI guy do?
They're also, I feel like they're following the script a little bit more closely. They're getting less kind of sidetracked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except when Koji's there.
Yeah, except when coaches.
Of course.
Straight to Bantanimo.
Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing what we have in the future for 14 after this live letter. Treasure hunting dungeons should be good, and Anima armor. I can't wait.
And the date.
Oh yes.
The date for Nico. Do we have that? I'm looking for it.
Yeah, April 29th,
29th.
and March 3rd, April 29th and 30th. That's what I
There
said.
you
The
go.
live letters on the 29th.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, you're too busy making that stupid fucking face.
What the fuck are we whispering?
Shut up,
Hey, shut up.
asshole.
Eat a dick.
No, thank you. All right, on that note, I say we wrap things up for the week. Thank you, Ethys, for joining us a second week in a row, and apparently us inconveniencing you by making you, God forbid, wake up early.
Dude, you made me get up at 7 a.m.
I get up at 7:30 every fucking day. Man up.
Yeah, but you're hashtag professional.
You will one day be hashtag professional. I've already made 5 emotes for you. All right? And I'm going to make a 6th one.
All right.
Yeah.
That's very generous of you. Thank
It
you.
is. I'm doing this work for free. So, Ethys, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you when your face is not frozen?
You can find me when my face is not frozen, and sometimes when it is frozen, at youtube.com/EthysAsher. And you can and ought to follow me on Twitter at Ethys FFXIV, where you'll see lots of stupid, asinine tweets. Sly, where can the good people find you and hit that sub button for you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Slyakagreyfox. You can find me on Twitter at Slythefox. You can find me on Instagram at Slyakagreyfox07. You can find me on Behemoth Plot 14, Ward 5 of the Lavender Beds, home to Wings and Beer, okay, Sly Beer.
Wings and Beer. And I
Sly.
am your other host, Michael, Mr. Happy Poveromo. You can find me Mr. Happy 1227 everywhere. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Everywhere. Literally, if you go to YouTube and type in FFXIV, other than YouTube ads, I will be the first result, ahead of Square Enix's channel.
Oh,
Humble brag much?
Somebody tweeted that at me today. I was like, really? I guess Final Fantasy
You
14
can
doesn't.
find me above Square Enix. Ooh.
I guess they
You
don't know
know
how.
what?
They need to brand their fucking YouTube channel better. I shouldn't be popping up over them.
you know what? I just typed in Final Fantasy 14, and you are the 4th result
On Google or on YouTube?
on YouTube.
Oh, that means that you were looking at too much porn. Are you counting the ads? 'Cause there's usually 2 ads.
Oh no, you're right. Recommended for you, Mr. Happy.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
son of a bitch.
there you go. You got to search enough Final Fantasy 14 though.
Ugh.
Google does that thing where it bases it. You know, it steals it
on your porn.
It steals your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does that thing. All right. On that note, everyone, we're gonna wrap things up. I actually have a raid to get to in a few minutes. They're probably waiting on me very patiently. Like, oh, Happy, you have a show? Great, fantastic. We're gonna raid now, please. It's great. It's great. Not Corn Hub. Nope, we're not doing it. That's it. Show's over. We're not doing the Corn Hub conversation again. I'm done. I'm done. That's it. Goodbye.
Right.
See you next
Bye.
time. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Outro.
See you next week.
Done.
You know, bye-bye.
No one needs to know I'm followed by YouPorn on Twitter now. No one needs to know that.
Wow.